Hi everyone, and are you walking without skin? Welcome to this episode of Walking Without Skin. I am Lois, your friend for forgiveness, and today I'm going to be sharing some extracts from my book Walking Without Skin. And I hope that you will gain some learning from what I've written in my book. This episode is called Breaking Your Back, an example of the body-mind connection with unhealed trauma. And we all, to some degree, have unhealed trauma. So a couple of extracts from the book that I'm going to read to you. It starts on Wednesday, the 27th of May, 1998. I woke up this morning with the most debilitating pain down my left leg. I visit various doctors, specialists and surgeons. Sciatica. I went for MRI scans. Friday, the 29th of May, 1998, I was admitted to hospital, going to have a back operation. Thursday, the 4th of June, 1998, I am no better. The back operation failed. I have another back operation. My friend, Dr. Chris, who was out of the country when I had the operation, returned and looked at my x-rays and scans. He can't see much in the scans. He is not sure that I needed the operation in the first place. Friday, the 12th of June, 1998. I am still no better. The doctor says that I will never hike or scuba dive again, as I will not be able to carry the tanks or backpack on my back. I am sent home with a home nurse, bedridden, dependent on people for the most tiniest of things. Even my ex-boyfriend is such a help. Even though we've broken up, he comes in to wash me and dress me. Monday, the 13th of July, 1998. Unable to drive, I am helpless. Friends do my shopping, make my meals. Monday, the 10th of August. I live with the pain. People fuss and worry and help. Monday, the 7th of September. I live with the pain. Acupuncture provides temporary relief for the pain. People fuss and help. Friday, the 25th of September, 1998. Liz, my darling sister, whose son Adrian and cousin Jan come to visit. People fuss and help. Monday, the 28th of September, I got dronkverdriet. Dronkverdriet is a lovely South African word. It translates basically into maudlin, but it's more than maudlin. It is really just when you are so sad and so depressed, and the alcohol just makes you, it makes you just absolutely weepy and pathetic. So I got dronkverdriet and lie in bed sobbing. I wail to my sister Liz. Liz gives me a reflexology treatment at 1 o'clock in the morning. Liz then gives me some pages to read from the book Your Body Speaks Your Mind by Debbie Shapiro, and I'm going to read a little bit from that book. As the back is out of reach and out of sight, so this is the perfect place for hidden or repressed emotions or issues that you don't want to deal with, because if you can't see them, how can anyone else? Most especially, there may be layers of unconscious rage being held in the muscles of your back. Is there something you may have pushed away that you need to acknowledge and accept? Are you pushing back your feelings, particularly feelings of rage, grief, or guilt? You talk about having a bad back as if it has done something wrong. But is it the back that is bad, or the stuff that you have dumped there? What would it have to do? What would it have to do to be a good back? If something is holding you back from moving forward, if you need to be still, your back will make sure that you are. If you cannot release or do not even know that such tension is there, then it has to find a voice through your body. If you experience any physical, psycho-emotional shock or post-traumatic stress, then it tends to get deposited in the spine. This may not affect you at first, but if you then have another experience that is equally traumatic or difficult, the energy will go to the same place and recovery will be harder. Eventually, it may be a small incident that causes your back to collapse. As the painful experiences gather, they affect the muscles and weaken the energy flow, eventually causing pain. And I will read this little bit from The Healing Power of Illness by Thorwald Dethelfsen and Rudika Dalka. A back problem causes an interruption of your normal activities and makes us rest. Out of the enforced passivity and quietude, some new attitude or orientation must emerge. There is a growing need for some current development to come to an end, and this has been ignored. So the body is obliged to break off from the old and break through to the new. The frenetic activity has to stop as the patient has overdone and overextended all the movement and stress. You literally break your back, a fate that can be deflected only by willingly becoming more flexible. Back to my book. The fact that this back problem may be psychosomatic is all a bit much to take in amidst this very real pain and discomfort. Can this be true? Am I not facing things and I'm putting things behind me? Am I loading my back with so many unresolved issues that it collapses and gives in? Acupuncture provides temporary relief from the pain. People fuss and help. Monday, the 2nd of November, 1998. Continued acupuncture treatments and the pain stays away for days at a time. I try various other energy healing modalities. All help briefly, but the pain always comes back. Friends fuss and help and fetch and carry and shop and care. I think back to the article. What am I not addressing? Is it, as the article suggests, anger, fear, exhaustion, of trying to prove something to someone, of denial, of a lack of forgiveness? What am I trying to hide? Am I holding unconscious rage? Am I doing this, putting undue pressure on yourself, trying to keep yourself strong and upright while not showing your true feelings? Just less than 2 months after I was raped, I attended a rape crisis group meeting. I was flabbergasted and dismayed by the fact that there were women 4, 7, and 10 years after they were raped, still fearful of physical violence, still needing therapy. And here I am now, 3 years later, and I have not adequately dealt with all the rape issues that I was faced with. I ask myself a series of questions around what has broken my back. What am I doing myself without asking anyone's help? I am brave. I am strong. I am brave. I received the most wonderful support from people who keep telling me how strong and brave I was after the rape. I didn't have to ask for help. It was just there, and I went to a psychologist who gave me a clean bill of health because I was so strong and so brave. It is empowering to know that I had the strength and the power to rise above being attacked and raped. I was happy to know the world, I was happy to show the world how strong I was, I led Take Back the Night marches down the street. I lobbied and petitioned judges and police commissioners and politicians. I gave interviews to newspapers and magazines and television. I gave talks to women's groups. I supported a self-defense expert in how to deal with the type of attack that I endured. The back problem has given me the opportunity to be weak and allows me easily to accept friends helping me and making a fuss over me. So why get better? I'm loving all this attention. It also allows me the time to be quiet and to stop all the frenetic activity that I'm undertaking in my quest to change the world. I am weak. I need to be weak. My back makes me weak. I can show my weakness. I do not have to be strong. I then ask myself, who has let me down and left me feeling unsupported? Oh yes, John let me down. John was my business partner. And friends ask why John does not come forward and offer to help with the debt. We had a business that went into liquidation due to a betrayal by John. I ask, am I fearful of what lies ahead in the imminent future? I must face this debt on my own. I'm not happy in my job. What about love and affection? An important question I ask is, what did I need to straighten out on my back and in my life? I am drifting, no real life or career direction or focus. Liz tells me that the back problems are manifested deeply subconsciously, of course, to provide me with physical indications of the love and attention that I so craved from those that I loved. Tuesday, the 1st of December, 1998. If I were to move on, I really needed to let go of the past, get rid of the poison, to let go of the hate. This was one step in that direction. I needed for all of this to end. And so I decided to forgive John. I called John up to set up an appointment. He was reluctant to meet with me and wished to know why I wanted to see him. I did not want to tell him on the phone, as I was not sure what I would feel or say when I did see him face to face. Remember, I had not seen him for about 2.5 years, and I had felt what would possibly be described as hatred towards him. I often told friends that if I saw him in the street and I was in my car, I would run him over. I was the only one hurting here. I finally told him that I wanted to forgive him. But first I needed for him to understand my status and the long-term impact of his decisions on my life. We met at the waterfront and ordered a beer each. I asked him why he had done what he had, and he told me that he was trying to protect himself as he thought that I was trying to take him for a ride. This notion was prompted by the action when we agreed that our lawyer would act for me and that John would find his own lawyer. I reminded him that the only reason we made this decision was that I had brought the lawyer into the partnership when we started the business. We decided to separate in our business due to the fact that that is where I was attacked and raped, and I really didn't want to be there anymore. I then went on to tell him how his decision to put the business into bankruptcy and sequestrating himself had left me with enormous debt that I was not only struggling to manage, but that was a constant reminder of that evil and traumatic event back in 1995. His eyes filled with tears and he apologized. He said he had not thought about the consequences and that he had not known that I had landed in this predicament. I felt sorry for him, and then, to my surprise, I forgave him. I really did. What a liberating moment. I also decided to forgive my friends. I did not feel that I could speak to all my friends about this, and so I wrote my forgiveness down and ritually read it out loud and then burnt it, sending the message into the universe. I wrote, "My dear friends and acquaintances, I was brave and strong because of you. You all believed in me and were so proud of me. I just had to be big and bold and brave and strong. I wasn't really. Yes, I was angry and I wanted to change the world, but I was not strong and brave. Pretending to be brave and strong resulted in the psychosomatic back pain that kept me incapacitated and in terrible pain for so many months. I needed you all to take care of me, to let me rant and rave and cry and weep. I cannot speak to all of you, but you must know that I forgive you. How were you supposed to know that I needed more emotional support than I was getting? That I needed to be weak and pathetic at that time? Thank you for being there for me then, and thank you for being there for me now. I forgive you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. I had set myself free. Remember that forgiveness does not change the past, but it does enlarge the future. A quote by Paul Boozer. I could now start healing. I could start looking forward to a bright future. Monday, the 4th of January, 1999. 8 chiropractic treatments later, and lots of soul searching and inner work, I was well enough to do a 5-day hiking trail along the wild coast carrying a full 29-kilogram backpack. So that is part of my book, Walking Without Skin. And it just shares that part where I learned how to forgive and how important forgiveness is. And in later episodes, we will explore forgiveness in a lot more detail. But this just gives you a brief glimpse into the power of forgiveness and also the power of the mind over the body. And I don't want to go into the science. There's a lot of science, and it's been proven over and over again the power of the mind and thoughts over the body. So also in later episodes, we will have neuroscientists and experts on the science to come and discuss how it actually works. But pain is often the result of unexpressed emotions and, and trauma, and it's based on learned patterns caused by neural activity. Both the conscious mind, that's 5% of our mind, and our unconscious mind, which is 95% of our mind. So both those thoughts, they shape our beliefs, our experiences, and actions. And our thoughts can heal our brokenness, as I proved with my back. Every thought causes neurochemical changes in the brain as neurons fire together and create new neural pathways. We are able to rewire our brains and neurological system to overcome pain, illness, disease. We can cure most things with our minds. And rewiring our brains is known as neuroplasticity. You can edit and overwrite your story with new positive information. So that is what I did, lying on my back, trying to heal from this terrible, debilitating back problem. I went inside. I started working on my thoughts and my emotions. And I did some of the exercises that I now teach. And it starts with dealing with those emotions. The first thing is to identify those emotions and divorce them from the experience. So I was horribly raped. It was a terrible attack. I was tied up and I was left to bleed to death. It happened and I cannot change that. So all the emotions associated with that are what is in my mind. It has nothing now to do with the event. The event is in the past. My thoughts are in the now. And so it's so important that we become present. And what I didn't do when I was raped, I became this activist and I ran around changing the world. And as a result, I did not take care of myself and I did not deal with my emotions. And that is why 2.5 years later, they manifested and came into my back. I wasn't dealing with them, I was putting them behind me and putting them behind me, and finally my back collapsed, forcing me to face them. So I went through each of those emotions that I felt: the hatred, the fear, the anger, the disgust, and so many other emotions. And we need to look at those emotions using all of our senses. So we need to, what does it look like? Big green disgusting monster. What does it feel like? It feels like, ugh, slime. What does it taste like? Rotten eggs, and it smells like rotten eggs. And so you want to really get to feel those emotions and feel it in your body. Find out in your body where it's hurting. It's hurting your heart. It's hurting, you've got pain in your gut. You just feel, for me, I couldn't walk, I couldn't face the future, I couldn't go forward. And so it's a combination of all of your senses. So take each of those emotions and analyze them using all your senses. And look also at the impact that it's having on your life, how it's debilitating you, how it's impacting on the people around you. And rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. Once you've done that, it's important that you don't stay at that intensity for too long and you want to start bringing it down. And we do that with visualization and affirmations. So we look for replacement emotions. How do you want to feel? And we are so very good at doing vision boards for our dreams, our homes, our careers, our partners, our travels. We create these vision boards, but we don't create vision boards for our emotions. So I suggest that you create a vision board for how you want to feel. And we can go into that into depth later as well. So it's creating the vision board together with affirmations. I am strong, I am brave in a positive way. I am healthy, I'm successful, I can hike, I can move around, I'm bright, and whatever affirmations, uh, write them down, record them so you can play it back to yourself. I put my affirmations on my phone as my alarm clock, so I wake up to my affirmations every morning. So it's absolutely wonderful to have those vision boards and those affirmations and put them somewhere physically where you can see them. And whenever you feel that negative emotion, that hate, that fear, whatever it is, pull out your affirmation, pull out your vision board and have a look at it and just immerse yourself again with the whole body. How does it feel? Where does it feel? What does it look like, sound like, smell like? And really get to feel that emotion using all of those senses. It really does put you in that place. Remember neuroplasticity. These new stories can override those old negative stories. The memory doesn't go. The story does not get forgotten. It happened and it'll be in your memory, but the emotions change, and especially if you are living in the here and now. And there are so many modalities and treatments and tips and exercises that you can use in order to get rid of those negative emotions. And over the various episodes, we will delve into some of these tools and techniques, and we will have experts on the various techniques. The most important thing is to remember that it's an holistic approach. You work with your mind, your body, and your soul. And if you live a healthy, clean, good life, you're already halfway to healing. So it's very exciting, and know that your journey is unique to you. No two journeys are the same. No two healing modalities are going to help you. the same as the next person. You've got to find what works for you and work with that. So I invite you to get hold of my book, Walking Without Skin. It's part memoir. It's written. I started writing it on the day I was attacked. It was. I was so angry. Remember, this happened in the days long before the Me Too movement, and I was so angry and upset, as anybody would be, that this happened to me, that I wanted to share the story. I wanted to tell the world that this happens to everybody. It happens to people like me. And so I started writing it as a journal, and this book went on for years and years and years. It's written as I read that extract in sort of journal format, date by date, and it took me 25 years to publish it for various reasons, which is another story. But it's really interesting because now the format has changed and it's interspersed with learnings. So as a result of my experiences, I developed a model, and that's my model. I developed a model of healing, explaining the different emotions and the journey that one goes on. And at the end of each chapter, I have what I've called a reflection. So it takes the learning from that part, and it's a reflection. So, which is like a self-help guide. So you can just read the self-help guide, or you can just read the journal, or you can read it both. But it really is a story that is raw, and it just helps one understand the emotions and how one can deal with the emotions. So I invite you to get the book. You can find it on Amazon. It's called Walking Without Skin. You can also go to my webpage, walkingwithoutskin.com, where you can book a call with me, a conversation where we can discuss your healing journey and where you are on your healing journey. It's a free 30-minute call, and I would love to discuss the next steps you can take on your journey to freedom. And so thank you so much for watching this episode. Please join us for another episode. We're going to be looking at self-defense next, I think. And that is a fascinating journey in itself. So I invite you all to join me on Facebook, Walking Without Skin, on our webpage, Walking Without Skin, or book a call with me. And I invite you all to fly free. I wanna laugh, I wanna love, I want all the good things life is made of. I won't let you win, you don't have control. You stole what you could, but you don't get my soul. With every day I'm getting stronger, and soon I won't be any longer. Walking without skin. Don't wanna be walking without skin. Won't find me walking without skin. A beautiful song written by Steve Silo of Music for the Soul and performed by Denise Green. Walking Without Skin, our journey of healing. Thank you. Have a great day.